Hi, this is television personality Andrew Caravella. I was just interviewed by Keith Andrew on the KeithAndrewNetWork. Fantastic guy, super funny. He really does an awesome job doing interviews, and he really promotes having disabilities and being a talk show host. And I don't think it's a disability. I think it's more of a gift. He really uses it to his advantage, and he's awesome at spotlighting people and showing what it is that makes them excel in the industry. So I think he's awesome. It's fantastic.
I am your host, Keith Andrew, and this is episode 528 of the Keith Andrew Network. I am the one and only Keith Andrew. Along here is Andrew Caravella. I just want to say thank you for being a guest on my talk show.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Yeah, the honor is all mine. For people who want to know what my talk show is about, the whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities to never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be, and to prove to them you still amount to something. So hashtag break the labels. With that being said, half hour every time, 33 minutes, mostly a half hour. And I'm going to ask you some easy questions, some hard-hitting ones. I'm going to puss on you. You can puss back. Throw anything out at me. Freedom of speech, self-expressing. It's better to be cut, uncut, raw, uncensored. And of course, it's still PG-13, but you do have the freedom to say what you like and how you feel. So starting off, what can you tell us about yourself?
Oh, well, let's see. I was born and raised in Southern California, and I guess that makes me quite unique in the sense that I'm in the entertainment industry. Most people born and raised in these parts of the U.S. don't normally do the entertainment industry. You tend to find more what they call transplants from the Midwest and the East Coast and from different countries coming to L.A. to try to make a name for themselves. So I guess I'm a rare breed by that sense, and I've been doing entertainment hard and heavy since I was about professionally 18 years old.
Yeah, that's really cool, and I like your set behind you. Is that like a bed or a couch? I think it looks like a couch.
Oh, okay. So it's a couch, and it's from IKEA, and I have two cats, and the cats tend to like to claw. So, and they're very furry. So by having the sheet on it, I kind of prevent a lot of that.
Understandable. I have six. Yeah. I have 6 cats and 1 dog.
Oh well, then you get it.
I have to buy my new chair that I'm sitting in. It's nice. It has the upholstery feel to it. It's really professional. Unfortunately, don't ask me why. I didn't know cats like to chew. The cat would turn it into its lunch. So now I have a big freaking gaping hole in it. It's like, okay, I'm sitting on it so no one can tell. But at the time I get up, it's like, yeah, I'm have to get a new chair. So the next question, I see you're a Batman fan behind you.
I am. Batman is life for me. I really like the character. I like the character of Bruce Wayne too. I feel like there's a lot of parallelisms in regards to his character and his demeanor and stuff. And I'm not saying that I'm a dark person, but I just really like the attitude and feel of Batman. He's kind of like a superhero, even though he doesn't really have superhero powers.
That's true. And while we're on the subject, before I ask you my next question about digital content that you do, did you see the trailer to Titan, and what did you think of it?
I did. I love the fact that Robin says, F off with Batman and stuff.
You can say whatever you like.
Yeah. No, I thought it was really, really cool. It appears that it's the Dick Grayson Robin, because, there's 6 of them. And I just think it's a more grown-up Teen Titans. I think it really reflects the attitudes and the demeanors of today's teens and young adults. So I didn't have any problems with it. I thought it was really, really good.
You never noticed they didn't show Cyborg at all.
No. See, that must be one of those things. Like, they didn't show him, but if you see, you'll see pieces of, he'll be in it. He'll be in it.
The only thing I didn't like about it, and like I said, I like how it's catered to the our age instead of being, okay, I like the kitty thing, it's funny, but also It kind of gets on your nerves after a while.
Yeah.
What I didn't like about it is Starfire, it's kind of should have been played by an Asian girl, number one. But I really didn't like how she looked. I thought there should have been more of a story for her, number one. And
in the new Teen Titans?
Yeah, the new one, the Titan.
Okay. Yes.
And I don't care who plays her, white, black, Spanish. That's not the issue. It's if you're gonna play the person, do it right. At least have like a story for it. It doesn't look like this. Oh, here she is. And it's kind of like in Raven. The Raven's like a little bitchy girl. Like, my daddy doesn't like me. That's like, yeah. Yeah. I see you have daddy issues. Besides those two things, it was pretty good.
Yeah. I'm excited about it. I'm more of a DC fan than a Marvel fan. Anyone that knows me knows that. I appreciate Marvel. It's fantastic, but when it comes to DC, I like the characters a lot more. Again, doesn't necessarily mean that I'm a dark person. DC tends to be more of a darker universe than Marvel, but I just like the way that they build the stories with the characters.
I agree. And one more question while we're on the subject.
Yeah, sure.
Is, what did you think of Deadpool?
Okay, so I like Deadpool. I love the fact that Deadpool always breaks the fourth wall. This time around, I wasn't too big on the sequel. I felt like the writing was weak. I felt like the characters were there. The actors nailed whatever was given to them. But I just thought the writing was a lot more weaker than the first movie. The first movie by far was just over-the-top hilarious, and it was very, very classic Deadpool character. They just got lazy. They just got lazy on the writing for the second one, and I think it showed. I think it showed that the writing wasn't all there. If they do a third one, I'm assuming they're going to do a third one. Hopefully they can bring it back around. But yeah, I think they missed big points on the sequel there with the writing.
I feel the same exact way for even Jurassic Park Fallen Kingdom. It had some cool moments, but I felt like, one, it didn't have a story. Well, kind of didn't have a story. It was rushed. And for people who didn't want to say it, I'll just say it anyway. Owen and the clone girl and Claire on the run at the end, it's kind of, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
Anyway, and now they're supposed to be introducing hybrids of a human being dinosaur because it's like, oh, she's a clone. But that leaves it open. It's like, okay, what does she have in her? Is she also a dinosaur? Are we going to do Dr. Monroe or something? How is that even Jurassic Park?
Yeah, it gets away from the story. Sometimes the writers will do things like that, which is too bad because then the franchise suffers.
No, absolutely. Now, the next question I was going to ask you is, I saw on your LinkedIn that you work in digital content.
Yeah, by this point in my career, it's just easier to say digital content creator because, I got started in the entertainment industry as a recording artist that was an actor that did auditions. And then I moved into being a vocal coach and a music producer while still being a recording artist. And then from there, I started doing songwriting. And then I had my own internet show. And then when all that ended, the internet show, I ended up having a television show that I hosted while still being a recording artist. And then after the TV show ended, I got into radio and developed a whole radio station under iHeartRadio. And then from there, I moved into a little bigger market. And now I'm in a market that reaches 5.5 million people in Southern California, while still doing acting on the side and now hosting new TV shows on television. So, I've helped design websites or consult with websites. I've helped develop branding for different types of people in the entertainment industry. By this point, it's just easier to say digital content creator professionally because there's so many different aspects to what I can do. in the entertainment industry. When I'm out in public, I just simply tell people I'm a radio and television personality because that's what I do 5 days a week. But yes, there is more going on in the background with producing and whatnot.
No, because you just threw a big snowball at me because there's a whole bunch of things I'd like to cover on that. First thing I'm going to ask is who influenced you to create your own content, and what about your show? Both of your shows are pretty interesting. You said you had one on air and one on TV. How did those come about?
Well, my influences go back to like the 90s. I was a huge fan of Jay Leno when it was Live with Regis and Kelly, or Kathy Lee even, out there in New York. I was a huge Regis Philbin fan. And I feel like it was those early beginnings that helped kind of shape the way that I wanted to have a career doing television. When I got a little older, I ended up learning that there was somebody before Jay Leno, Johnny Carson, and I really loved Johnny Carson's style and demeanor as well. And I just started kind of learning about different hosts. I was a Nickelodeon kid. I loved Nickelodeon over Disney growing up. So I was huge on Mark Summers. So I had all these, I guess, male figures in my life that were just really strong hosts. And I really, was fascinated by the way that they would carry a show for 30 minutes or an hour. And that's always kind of been with me since I was I think 13. And I just went with it, I just ran with it. And, you study your art, you study your craft, and you just move forward in the industry the best way that you can. No one really has it figured out. You just kind of make it up as you go until it starts making sense. That's what I tell people. With my shows, the current shows that I'm doing right now, Backstage Weekly, which is an entertainment news style show. I have 2 correspondents. One guy is called the Schmo. He does sports entertainment. So he puts a little comedy while interviewing sports stars. And then for my red carpet interviews, I have a celebrity correspondent, Jessica Ross, and she gets to do all the little gifting suites and the red carpets in and around LA, talking to celebrities, actors, people like that for the show. And I just sit behind a desk doing news stories.
Well, hypothetically, would you think I would be interested? Well, let me rephrase. Do you think I would be interested to work with you? But do you think people would think I'm very interested to be talked about on your news stories?
Yeah, possibly. I know that you do your show and you really promote the fact that you have a disability and stuff. And in my opinion, I feel like disabilities are they're 2 things. They're discovered gifts and they're undiscovered gifts. And when you discover how to take your disability to the next level and use it to your advantage, it then becomes a gift. And I've met a lot of people like that. Off the top of my head, RJ Mitty. He played the son on Breaking Bad. In real life, he has MS. And in the show, he had to have... Is it MS? I think it's MS. I think it's MS. If I'm wrong, let me Google that real quick. I need to look, because I don't want to get it wrong. I really don't want to get it wrong.
I think what he has in real life is carried over into the show.
Yes, what he has in real life. There's a story behind it, though. I'm sorry. Cerebral palsy. Yeah. I want to make sure I clear that up if I'm going to talk about disabilities. RJ Mitty, when he got started in the entertainment industry, he had cerebral palsies, and he wasn't able to get work. No one really wanted to cast him because he had this disability, and it made it very difficult to work with him. So he would be like an extra. He'd do background acting and stuff like that. Well, he had an agent, and one day this new show no one ever heard of before called Breaking Bad came about, and there was an audition for it. And wouldn't you know it, the character had to have cerebral palsies. And wouldn't you know it, it just worked out for him because he just so happened to have it. So it was easy for him to act like that on camera. And then all these years later, it's an Emmy Award-winning television show, and it's because of his disability that he was able to excel, and he was able to get a spotlight on who he is, and he totally opened up, a whole new world to people that have cerebral palsies. And to me, that's a really super awesome example of having a disability and using it to your advantage to excel in the industry. And I love stories like that. I absolutely love how the underdogs become the top dogs.
No, absolutely. The underdogs are always the best. Even if you look at movies, Rocky, Cinderella Man, Gangs in New York.
What's the name of that movie? The one with oh my gosh, the football player. It had Tim McGraw, had Sandra Bullock in it.
Blindside?
Thank you. That's a great story. That's a fantastic story.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and I kind of, in a way, don't consider myself like an underdog, but in a way, people would say I am the underdog because I'm showing you, hey, look at someone who has a learning disability, who was labeled handicapped, mentally disturbed, retarded, who can't read. I can read a little bit, but then it bothers me. I can write, but I can't spell. Who reads and writes and learns at a 5th grade level. Never went to high school and college, but look at what he has accomplished as to create a talk show. Thanks to you, we're up to 528.
Yeah.
And unofficially, I did over 800 episodes. I came along with some nice people that said, well, as a one-time thing or whatever BS they came up with, and so I had to do it over. Hence the belts behind me. I can get to that later if you're interested. But it's kind of like I'm showing you, labels don't dictate who you are and who you're going to be. It's a program. You can stem out to something.
Yep, I agree.
Now the next question I was going to ask you is, who were some of your favorite talent that you had the chance to work with, and who were the up-and-coming people that became famous that you were happy you had the chance to work with now?
Let me see. Some talents that I had the opportunity to work with. Oh my gosh, there's so many. I got to work with Michael Trevino before The Vampire Diaries and before Kane, when he was on the show.
True Blood?
What was it? Huh?
True Blood?
No, it was an FX show. Minnie Driver was on it with Eddie Izzard. The Riches. That's right, The Riches. He played the friend, and he was actually kind of like my mentor when I just got started in acting. I mean, we're going back to like the MySpace days. He was already like an actor, but he wasn't like famous yet. And we used to MySpace each other back and forth when we wouldn't be on set. And he was a great mentor. Like, he showed me the ropes and kind of gave me firsthand, like, this is what the business is like. And then Kane happened, and after Kane, he got The Vampire Diaries, and his career was made. He's doing it. He's a recognized name and face in the world now, and he's doing his craft, and I admire him for that. I admire the fact that he gave somebody who was a complete nobody at the time a chance, and worked with me. Somebody else, Larry Hagman. I was a personal assistant for Larry Hagman for about two or 3 years, and to get a dose of old or golden Hollywood, and to really understand how the business works, and he was working at that time up until the time he died. It was really interesting to kind of see how he always stuck to his guns, even later on in his life, and he had mad respect from everyone that ever came across him, and that's admirable. Let's see, up and comings that ended up becoming something.
Besides Nate.
Yeah. Oh gosh, there's so many people that I've worked with. I used to have an internet show called Limelight years ago when I was in LA, and I got to work with a guy by the name of Derek Nelson. Derek was like the bass player on the show Glee, and he was new in his career too, and he did my show, and he was a really cool guy, awesome talent. And after the show ended, I'm pretty sure now he lives back up in his hometown in Washington. He moved back out of LA, but he's touring the country now with his brother and his sister, and they do very inspirational, very heartfelt concerts all over the country now. Like, he just tours all the time, and he's pretty big on like the touring circuit. So he was a really cool person that I got to work with years ago. Yeah, I don't know. There's so many. Like, I'd literally have to sit down and look at some of my old work to just start picking out names.
All right. And the next question I was going to ask you, then we're going to take a commercial break. It's funny that you should mention MySpace, because that's the next thing I'm going to ask you. Social media. Can social media make you or break you? And for a perfect example, Twitter, Facebook, and yes, MySpace is funny enough still around. It's slow, but still around.
Yeah.
But can all that really make you into a star, or can it really actually hurt?
It can do both, but if you become famous off social media, beware, because there are certain things in this world that are still considered art, acting, music, even modeling. And if you become Insta famous or Facebook famous or Twitter famous, you're gonna be viral, and you'll be like a one-hit wonder, and then people are gonna want to see more out of you. And if you're not able to produce, if you're not able to execute awesomeness every single time, since you were a social media star, people are going to get bored with you. And okay, whatever. Like, for example, the Yodel kid from Walmart, he literally has a record deal right now with Atlantic Records, and he's ready to debut his, unless it's already out, his first country western album, which is fantastic. I heard a couple songs off of it. It's pretty good. But, I mean, let's see how far this whole Walmart Yodel Kid thing goes, right? Like, you're so cute right now and stuff, but how far can you really go off of this before you become a nobody, or you become a has-been, you know? And that's the thing about entertainment. It'll burn you out really, really quick. And that's why I'm just like, always beware of social media. If you don't know how to make a living off of it and have longevity with it, it will eat you alive. All those Vine stars are starting to figure that out, you know? A lot of them went from Vine to YouTube, and some of them are still doing good. Most of them you never hear about anymore. So yeah, it can make you, but it also can break you too, especially if you're a somebody and you do stupid things on there. It'll catch up to you. I believe in 2011, it was the guy that just got kicked off doing the next Marvel movie, Tim Gunn, I think that's his name, Mr. Gunn. I'll call him Mr. Gunn. I don't know his first name, but he was making fun of like rape and stuff like that, and he doesn't think that way apparently now. But they kicked him off the movie. You know, that's a multi-million-dollar movie that he got kicked off of because of the stupid things he said 7 or 8 years ago.
Well, about that, it's people take things out of context. Apparently, he was being arrested by some like a pedophile, and people just took it out of context.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's not Tim Gunn. I know his name is Gunn. I just don't remember his
supposed to do
Sean Gunn. Wait, no, that's his brother, I think. Let's see.
I know he was supposed to do Guardians 3, but I guess they're not doing that anymore. Yeah.
No, it is Sean Gunn. Yeah, Sean Gunn. That was his name. James Gunn. Sean Gunn was his brother. James Gunn. So, yes. But, yeah, like I said, if you say something, like you said, it can be taken out of context, and it'll work against you. So, yeah, social media can work for you, and it can work against you.
No, absolutely. Hey, look at the president. He says stupid things on an everyday basis.
I get up in the morning just to check my Twitter feed in the morning to see, like, what kind of days are going to be in the news world.
And it's pretty sad, with all of that. But, that's the age we live in with social media. I actually wanted to use Yahoo Messenger recently. And, one thing I really miss is using MySpace. I really hate the new design. Because you went from up and down to left and right. And I'm alright, I guess that's alright. But it was so slow. And I'm like, well, you just killed it faster. But I miss the MySpace Messenger. That was one of my favorites. But, well, I was going to say, it's AIM and Yahoo Messenger. There's no more of that. They got rid of it. I'm like, people still use Yahoo. Why the hell did you get rid of the Messenger?
Yeah. Yeah, like I guess it's just like Facebook Messenger and FaceTime. I think that's like pretty much all that's left for messaging.
And texting.
Oh yeah, of course. You could always text people, I guess.
It's true, but you would think Yahoo's still a big thing, that why would they get rid of something that people would like?
Yeah, I haven't a clue why they would do that. I mean, I personally don't use Yahoo Messenger anymore. I haven't used it for years. I try to just use like Facebook Messenger or even text. It's just quicker for me, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. Now we're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, I'm going to pass the remaining time over to you.
This is Vanessa Lina. I'm Adrian Lalo.
Allie Heigl.
This is Cynthia Bastinet.
I'm Sonia Fisher.
This is Shane Smith.
My name is Alexandra Bowie.
My name is Amelia Clover.
Hi, I'm Amy Linden.
Hi, I'm Anita Nicole Brown.
Meg Green.
Hi, my name is Asata Caldwell.
Hi, everybody. I'm Brooke.
Hi, I'm Bryn Berg.
Hi, I'm Casey Dunn.
Hi, it's Cassandra Kavinsky.
Hi, I'm Christina Briza.
I'm Cindy Hogan.
I'm Courtney Sinello.
Hi, I'm Daisy.
My name is Deborah Jane East.
Hi, my name is Dinah Marasea.
Everyone, I'm Victoria London.
Hi, I'm Heather Krona.
Hi, I'm Heather Callahan Stevens.
Hi, I'm J. Nicole Ralph.
My name is Jamie Petrone.
My name is Julie.
My name is Julia Brankovich.
Kathleen Wills.
Kimberly Amato.
Hi, my name is Laura Putnam.
Hi, I'm Laura Chapanis.
Hi, everyone. I'm Melissa Damas.
This is Michelle Mupo, a.k.a. Fuchsia.
I'm Rachel Olivera.
Hi, my name is Sarah Joy Mount.
Hi, I'm Susan Brender.
Hi, everyone. This is Venus Leone.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Dana.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Herrera, and I was just on the Keith Andrew Network. It was tons of fun. We used up all our time and then some. I really recommend this show, and try to be a guest on Keith's show.
Welcome back to 528. I am your host, Keith Andrew. Along here is Mr. Andrew. Now, it's the remaining time. Was there any funny stories that you have over the years? Any retail stunnies? I have no idea what the hell a stunny is. Do you have
stunny
any...
is a good word.
Hey, so somebody can make something out of it, right? So do you have any funny stories from retail, from working, or any funny pranks that you pulled on people?
Let's see. Do I have any funny stories? Funny stories. Yes, I do. I do have a funny story. I guess I'm old enough that I can say this. I had a friend who I guess will be remain anonymous for this one because we're still friends. He was an up and coming pop singer. He was in a very popular boy band here on the West Coast. And the thing is that when you're in that part of the industry, you have to look 16 all the time. And certain demeanor that you pull off, you have to present a very wholesome, kid-friendly kind of image because your fans are kids. And I remember there was a couple times where there were pop music events or gatherings at like the Roxy or the Whiskey A Go Go, and fans would come from up and down the coast, from Nevada and Arizona to see him and other boy banders and other singer-songwriters that were performing those nights. They weren't traditional rock bands; they were more like acoustic feel-good music, dance in sync, and kind of feels and stuff. And he was going through a really hard time in his life, a lot of relationship issues. And I was kind of like, even though I wasn't a member of his boy band, I was like one of his best friends and really close, right-hand man. And there were a couple times, actually there were several times, that I would have to cover for him in public because of his drunken intoxication right in front of fans. And there was a couple times where we were in the club and we were at the bar and he was just pounding drinks. And fans are wanting to come over to take pictures, say I love you so much, get autographs. And he would do these weird things where like he would go behind my back and like hunched over, start drinking his drinks to just slam them. And I just have to sit there and talk to the fans like this and be busy looking while he's doing what he needs to behind the scenes. And I mean, it was like blatantly obvious to us, like he was like just so wasted when we'd get out of the club. There was a couple times where like he fell down, he'd kick his shoes off, and they'd fly up in the air. And the fans just thought he was just being silly and super funny because that was his demeanor when he wasn't drunk. He's just a very bubbly, kind of cartoon character-ish person. So having to cover for my good friends while they're drunk in public, those have always been fun times. Matter of fact, there was one time where one of them tried to jump a fence, and LAPD decided that he couldn't jump the fence, so they stopped him. Those are just some of the fun, I guess, things that have happened growing up in LA and doing those kind of things. Yeah.
Well, I don't really have... Okay, I do have a couple of funny stories, but I'm not really a funny person. When I'm sarcastic, it's funny. You know?
Right? It's got to be organic, I think.
No, absolutely. My dad has funny stories, my brother. For me, that's kind of like, I have one or two. So, I got this recent job I went to. It didn't really work out. And we had something called a sensor sweep, where basically you go to pants and you're filling up the pants or whatever. So I made a joke, it's like, yeah, I'm done now molesting the pants. It's like, because that's what I did. I would grab the pants leg, it's like, check the pockets, all right, higher, all right. So I was like this, and I was doing all of this for all the
right. You were a professional fondler. I get it.
And I said, can I do something else, because I feel like I'm like filling up the pants. I'm done filling up the pants. I know it's really not funny, but I thought it was funny.
I think it is. That's pretty funny, actually. Yeah.
The other one is I was going to the store on my days off because I'm a manager over at my other job. I can tell you off the air. And I can tell you, I sell bubble guns. So I'm a manager selling bubble guns.
Oh, okay.
And so on my days off, I went to my main job. I'm not there anymore. And it's like, Keith, you're always here. Why don't you come back on your days off? You're always popping up. And I said, popping up. What can I use that for? Yeah, well, you know, people always say I pop up like a bad case of hemorrhoids. You don't know where I'm going to pop up. So,
that's good. That's actually good. I like that.
No, it's like I said, when I'm sarcastic and funny, and I really don't care. It's like my first funny story. It's, you know how people always make the joke, oh, that's what she said?
Yeah.
Well, I kind of caught myself, and I said it, and I kind of was like, yeah, maybe that wasn't a smart thing I say, because I have no filter.
I have a friend where every time he would say something, because his mom is kind of young and stuff like that, so we always make fun of his mom. He'll say something that could be inappropriate if you put the word your mom and then you fill it in and stuff like that. Like, oh, you know, we got to go to the store and get some bananas. Your mom's got to get some bananas. Like, just something like that, you know. And it's if you do it throughout the whole day with the same person, it can get pretty bad sometimes. It can get really, really good bad. Like, oh, I got to go to the store and pay my bill. Oh, I got to pay your mom's bill. So
actually, that is really good.
I like doing that one. That one's pretty funny to do. I've been doing that one since high school, actually.
I'm trying to come up with a name for this voice, but I always try to have fun with people. And I was like, hi, welcome. How can I help you today? Is there anything I can help you find? I just like messing with people. And it's like, you're asking to be punched in the face. Yeah, but at least I'm going to make someone laugh out of it.
Yeah, you got to have fun with people. It makes the day go by so much easier, you know?
Yeah, I agree. And the last thing I'm just going to say, I was looking at a candle store, and we're stacking the whole soaps, and she said, and I walked right into it because I had no filter. And of course, my brain always farts when I speak. And we were stacking the soaps, so I was like, I don't think that's going to fit. I said, that's what she said. And she's like, yeah, don't say that again. But when I'm funny, it isn't funny. When I'm sarcastic, it's like, oh, you're pretty funny. Then I do something stupid, and it's like, yeah. You know, don't make jokes.
That's funny.
But I do have a couple questions for you off the air. But wrapping up our interview segment, how can people follow you? Are you on? Apparently, you're on LinkedIn. That's how we met.
Yeah, I'm everywhere. I mean, people can find me on Twitter, on Instagram, even on Facebook. It's all the same. It's On Air Andrew, ONAIR Andrew, On Air Andrew. I'm the only Andrew on air, so On Air Andrew, and it'll be easy to find me that way.
No, absolutely. And my last question for you is, when I first approached you to be a guest on my talk show, what was your first reaction? And after doing the interview, how do you feel now? And do you feel the same way?
Well, my first reaction was like, all right, I finally got some press again, because it's been a minute. It's been a minute since I've done interviews. So when you reached out to me, I was very fortunate for it. So I thank you for that. And no, this was a great interview. I enjoyed it. You were really funny. I liked it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. My humor is not for everyone, so.
Yeah, I get that a lot for myself. So I feel you on that.
But stay tuned for Off the Air. I have a couple questions for you. But wrapping up our interview segment, it's a real honor and privilege having you as a guest, and I'm looking forward to part 2 down the road.